First of all, I'd like to thank you, sir, because I know you're not being recognized much as you should throughout Guyana for your leadership on our international arena, representing our one Guyana. Sir, on my part, I have two issues. One is concerning myself. I must welcome Minister Gale to here too. She knows my issue concerning my eyes. I sent a letter to you in April, so I wish if you could look at the letter. It was concerning a trip to Cuba where I went to do my eyes and they didn't do anything, and up now they can't refund my money. So I'm asking you or begging you or pleading with you, President, to look after that issue.
All right, the personal issue, Siram, we're going that you have, okay?
All right, next. President, I'm glad if you get into this with concerning our cremation site. It's approximately 17 years we've been getting a cremation site for Bartica, and up to now we're going around in circles, and we ain't getting anywhere. So I'm pleading with you to look into this issue, see how early we can get our cremation site. Because we have to travel all the way with our family till to West Coast.
Do you have some sites that you're proposing?
Rezi, many sites proposed, and up to now we're going around in circles. Okay. Many sites.
So, all right, so let's fix it. Moniz is here. The EPA is here. So EPA, Moniz, the region is here, right? And the mayor is here, I think. They were invited on the 10th. I'm not. Is anybody from the mayor here? Oh yes. We have a representative from the mayor office here.
Yeah, President.
So here. I'm going to let them meet now, and then they'll advise me on this before I leave.
Yes, the next one is concerning a meeting place for a person with disability. We are behind this years too now. I'm asking, well, we had the school in 7th Avenue, disability school open up, a few weeks ago. If a piece can be built on there so we can get our own meeting place. But presently, I'm visually impaired presently, so I'm trying to fight for the person with disability in the region.
And I didn't mention this, but you know we have started to work on a special program for different vulnerable groups. I started with differently abled children. We had some special announcement. I've already committed to having transportation to support all those schools with differently abled children. I've already committed to the building of at least 3 facilities across the country in the different counties. And definitely I'll ask Minister Gale Teixeira to look at region 7 here and to see what facility we can upgrade, or what facility we can build to support differently able people, because this is a big part of the agenda of the government, and of course dealing with mental health too is another big part of the agenda of the government.
And presently, if you look at the condition of our play field, our main play field in Bartica, we need something to be done there. If the Minister of Sports to come in, and we have many grounds around Bartica and our riverine areas too need to upgrade.
Okay, so we're gonna look at next year's budget to see the priority play fields in the region, and see what work we can do in upgrading and have at least one great facility in the region here. That is something that is needed. Yeah. So I'm going to. One of the projects we are working on is to build what we call college-type stadiums. You know, if you go in the U.S., all these stadiums are not youth stadiums. You have what you call college-type stadiums, with college lighting facilities. So it's lighting to have night facilities. And the stadiums are around 1,500 to 2,000 people capacity. Some, depending on the region we go, it can be 2,500, 5,000. So we're doing that assessment now, and definitely we'll be looking at Region 7 when we're developing these facilities.
And President, another major issue in Bartica here concerning when the rain fall. We have the outfall by Bell, I think there's 6th Street, 4th Avenue. Now, the coca is on the road, you have to say. I was speaking with many leaders in the region, but I don't know if anything put into the budget for next year concerning you build a snooze either 60 feet off from the normal one, condemn the one, and put it as a one-door self sluice gate. I believe that would help Bartica when we flood. So you could put a pump. Because presently out there, how it's built there, you cannot put a pump to drain Bartica. And the same thing can be done by Prakash area too. You put a sluice and a pump. So when the rain fall and the water high outside, you can pump the water out. That would drain Bartica, help a lot. Because people saying that Bartica don't flood for long, but the thing is the amount of damage when the water raise, by the time to run off, the amount of damage already done, it's enormous.
My name is Aaron Williams, the Tushao of Batavia. Your Excellency, I would first like to thank your government for all they have done and continue doing in my village. In the first year, my village has seen great development. One, before 2020, Batavia was receiving only $800,000 as presidential grant. That was raised to $1.5 million in 2020. I want to thank your government very much for that. With that, which allow us to do bigger projects now. We also have 15 CSOs employed by your government assisting the village council. This helps us a lot to gather information and even on our daily going around in the village and getting things done. We had a major rehabilitation work done on our public buildings. Our school, for example, better fence. Our health post, better fence. We had recently got a new stelling at the western end of Arian Island. This is very good. I really want to thank you. This helps our children to be more safe in accessing the school. With your government many initiatives, we had some of our youths also trained in information technology, solar installation, and heavy duty machineries, etc. I want to thank your government for that. My village, through the government, received $10 million investment fund, which we all know as the COVID grant. With this fund, we were able to purchase a Ford tractor for lumbering, farming tools to boost agriculture, and also infrastructural development. We also received a tractor to boost agriculture. But with all of this, we still need more in agriculture. We need technical training. Our people, we know about traditional farming, planting cassava, potatoes, and other ground provision. But we know we can do more, but we need your help. We need the help from the government to assist us there.
Is Irish potato or sweet potato?
Sweet potato.
Thanks.
Sweet potato.
You got me excited there for a moment.
The ICT hub, after many years, become a reality. The hub is now fully equipped. This will serve to improve computer literacy in my village. I want to thank you for that. Now, my people and the young ones especially will now be connected to the rest of our country and even the rest of the world. So I want to thank you very much for that, Mr. President. This is just some of the development in the first year, and there are more already efforts are being made. The village will soon receive a solar farm. Due to the layout of our village, the solar farm will be in 3 sections, northern, southern, and central Batavia. This is a major development we as a community is looking forward to. So we are expecting that very soon, and I know your government is working hard to make this a reality. With the fast-growing population, I want to make some requests. With the fast growing population, at an average of 20 to 25 babies per year in my village because of the rain, maybe I can say that.
You put me to shame, boy.
Yeah. The village council with its village plan would like the government to assist with technical support in drafting a plan for a village scheme to accommodate over 300 house lots. We already locate the site. We are working, we have a draft of that site. Because of how we are right now, we've lived scattered in the village. So this is one actually to prepare for the younger generation that is coming. We are now at 621, and if we calculate the 25 per year, in the next 10 years, there will be a lot of people, and we will have to find somewhere to put them to live. So I'm asking the government to assist us so that we can be able to provide houses and better place for the people to live. The village in its requests would also like to have a multipurpose building in the village to accommodate indoor games and other special functions, as well as a floodlight to host night games. We have a ground presently, but we still need a lot of upgrading there. I'm just listening to a speaker who was asking for ground development, and we will be thankful for that also in my village. As the population grows, we need bigger facilities to accommodate the youth. Since ecotourism is high on the government agenda, our village in its village plan has already identified an area of a tour site. Therefore, we are seeking government assistance in making this a reality. Over the years, since in 2015, we have come up with this idea, and we have decided to work on it, but with little support. And because of how our village is presently, we were actually suffering, but now I must say our heads above the water, so we can take some new air. And I know that we will have this as a reality very soon by the help of your government also. As I talk about homes, I want to make a recommendation. I said we would like to have a home construction assistance facility program for Amerindian communities. You know, most of us, people want to say that we must continue living under our trash tents and so on. It's no problem with that. Even though we might as well own a concrete building, but we still have a benab behind our house so that we can grate and whatsoever, do our cassava work and relax in a cool atmosphere. We also need a technical training for the agriculture and agriculture in my village. Thank you very much.
So, Kushal, let me thank you for your preciseness. And this is what I'm talking about. As a country develops, you have a legitimate expectation, regardless of where you're from, to these services. And I want you to be proud of that legitimate expectation you've just raised. And I'm so pleased. You know, when I was Minister of Housing, I was trying to get our Amerindian communities to come to this point where you can have centralized service and development of housing schemes and so on. So I'm going to send the Minister of Housing to Batavia and Bartica just on Saturday. He'll be joined by the Minister of Agriculture to look at, in Bartica and your community and other communities, the issue of giving you the technical support, the agriculture giving you the technical support too. But what I want them to do is do an assessment of all the villages to see how much cassava and sweet potato we produce. And then we'll talk to the private sector in Bartica to see whether we could get them interested, if the government build a shell, in a facility that would process the cassava into cassava flour and the sweet potato. Because when we were in Barbados recently, there's a huge market for the cassava flour and the sweet potato there. So we're working now on a new food terminal in Barbados. So we have to work on increasing the production. Aquaculture, we're working on a marine cage project that we can include Batavia. This is a community I know. My first visit to this community was when I was 17 years old. And I came to that community to deliver black tanks. From the government was distributing black tanks. And Bartica, I spent many nights here because I worked from scratch on the secondary tongues improvement project. I was a technical officer in charge of that project when we rebuilt all the roads in Bartica proper. So I know the development challenges. So this Saturday, for your community and Bartica, we'll have this assessment completed so we can make informed decision moving forward, okay? And listen, I'm holding you to that 25 at a minimum. We need to grow the population of the country quickly. All right?
My name is Colleen Singh. I'm representing Itabali, a small community in the Lower Mazruni area. Mr. President, first I must congratulate you on the good work that you are endeavoring to do in our country. I also am elated to see you come to Bartica today, and when I hear of the things that you have offered to help us with, it has really blessed my heart, so I want to say thank you. However, as I stand on behalf of Itabali, from 2016, we have made an application to the Lands and Surveys Office, and we've received a response concerning a burial ground for our community. You might say, why is this important? It is important, Mr. President, because we have residents who are burying their loved ones in their yard, and that's not healthy for our community. Therefore, we are in desperate need of having our own burial ground. And also a sore issue in our community is the garbage disposal. We have no place available for garbage disposal in our community. We had a land, but it is now someone's land. So we are seeking permission to have same. You say, why do I raise that here? I raise it here because in 2016 I raised the issue of the ground, and to date nothing has been done. So I know with your presence you have the authority to look into this matter. So we are looking for same, that you will assist us through the Office of the Lands and Surveys to grant us 2 plots of lands, one for our burial site and one for garbage disposal, along with the EPA coming in to advise us. But the next issue I want to talk about is presently we have the ETK company in our community. They have offered to drill a well for us, free, for the benefit of our residents, and we are so grateful for that. Yesterday I received a note from Gaiwa officers saying that in 2 weeks' time they are ready to drill the well. I visited the Lands and Surveys Office concerning a location that the council has agreed upon, but the response was not positive. And I'm also concerned because if this issue don't be addressed now, we will not be able to have the well that will benefit all of our residents. Also, I am kindly asking you, we have about 60% of our population, they are delinquent youth. We have major drug issues in our community, misuse of drugs rather, and also we have lots of school dropout. So what I believe is that if we can educate our young people, we will have change that will be lasting in our community. So I'm kindly asking you, Mr. President, through your government, to assist us with having training and skills program for our young people, to get them off the street, to help them to build a future so that they can be a contributing factor towards our country and we can all grow together. So I must say thank you for listening, and I trust that we will have results based on these issues.
So we'll definitely look into these matters. All the matters that are raised here. Where's Marcia? Okay. Marcia, we'll see her just now. She'll be in contact with each of you to give you a feedback on what action we're taking, and Dwayne, put up your hand. Dwayne is there too. They will be contacting you from our office and giving you feedback on all the issues. Minister Teixeira is going to lead our efforts in following up on all these issues and bringing resolution, right? But on the issue of wells, maybe I should just go through this quickly. Itabali, we have a well program for you there, as you said. We're going to sort out the issue. Batavia, we have a well program for you for 2023. Dark Point, we have a well program for you for 2023. West Quebec, we have a well program for you for 2024. Carao, we are now drilling a new well, installation of PV, storage and distribution network. Cartago, we have drilling of a new well, installation of PV, storage, distribution network. Isinero, we have a contract is awarded to complete a new system over the next 4 months. Tasserene, we have a contract that is already awarded to complete a new system over the next 4 months. Kangaruma, we have the GWI is partnering with the RDC to improve the existing system by the end of July. And a new well is programmed to be drilled in your community by 2025. Riversview, Goshen, Spring Garden, Newfoundland, Falmouth, we have a new water system that is earmarked to be completed in your communities by 2024. So you see there's a full plan here to improve water delivery and water service to the entire region. Because one of our intention is to ensure a proper level of service for every home in our country. So this is the plan for the region I've just announced in terms of new wells.
House, because I tried one with the construction plastic, but it's weak. So we are asking if you could grant us some greenhouse. Just to cover it, we would find the frames. We have about 12 to 15 farmers who are rearing pigs, but we have small breeds. We're asking if you can give us some better breeds of pigs, because we are doing well with the small ones, and I know that if we get the bigger ones, we will do better. We also have a problem with feed. Every day you go to the shop, the feed is raising, and we cannot cope with the prices. So I don't know if you can do something to help us.
One of the things we want to do in this region is enhance the breeding stock. And of course, the breeding stock of the pigs, we have a program for that. And the shade house material will definitely work on supporting you with this. When the Ministry of Agriculture come on Saturday, I'll have them meet with all the farmers so they can work out the logistics of all of this to help you too, okay?
My name is Shane Cornelius, the Tushaw of Carroll Village, Lower Mazruna River. On behalf of my people, I bring you greetings. And as residents of Carroll, and more so as Guyanese, we would like to publicly thank this government for saving our country in 2020. Never again should we, as responsible leaders, allow our country to go back to that 5 months of anguish and mental strain. Moving on, I would like to thank the government for the tremendous work they are doing throughout Guyana and the amazing level of commitment shown by our ministers. It goes to show what young people are capable of once given the opportunity. The hinterland has certainly not been left out by our caring government efforts. As a leader of any village, it would be remiss of me not to make certain requests because persons elected you to represent them. So here are some of my requests on behalf of Carroll Village. First one being shade house farming. We would request for a 20 by 30 shade house. The village council would be providing the materials, and we are seeking the government support in this initiative. This would help support the school kitchen as well as we would ask the CSOs to manage this program. Secondly, we would ask for some solar street lighting in terms of enhancing the community and as well as providing enhanced security in the village. At the village level, we are also seeking employment in terms of whether it's temporary job, being part of the government temporary jobs program, or also the Community Enhancement Workers Program, so that the disposable income can be, at the household level, can be improved. I would ask the government to look at the price of zinc, which is very expensive right now. As villages, we normally do projects, and that's one of the highest costs in the project. Additionally, we requested last year, or the first year in government, we requested some low-income housing from the Ministry of Housing, and we are asking the government for some low-income housing in Carroll. As most persons would know who follow us on Facebook, we have a village-owned sawmill, so we could partner with the government to provide this housing in Carroll. As you know, indigenous peoples are one of the most poverty-stricken people in the country, so we are asking to be equal with the coast in terms of the housing program. Additionally, we would ask for access to funding where we can do livelihood projects and also do capital projects within the areas. There are a lot of fundings, like international funding, but a lot of times we don't actually get the access to these funds. So if we can get some support in directing us to the funds, then we can provide proposals, and we can work along with the government and the international agency to make everybody's life better. Finally, we will be requesting some tourism feasibility studies to be done within our village. The village level, we are trying to diversify and move away from traditional logging and mining. We are trying to move into tourism and agriculture. So we are requesting a tourism feasibility study be done on Carroll so that we know what we have and what we can market. So on behalf of the Carroll village, that's some of my requests.
That is a $25,000 grant. That is going to be rolled out very shortly. So every household in hinterland and riverine community will benefit from that very shortly. All right, I was just on the phone there with one of the commercial banks that has started a new program to help small farmers, like small farmers in your community. So in terms of the shade house, in terms of the shade house farming, we'll support that. The temporary job, that will come to every single region and every single household. We have launched that through the Ministry of Local Government. I'm going to ask Colin to deal with that when he comes. I love the idea of using your local sawmill for the low-income houses, not only for your communities, but let's have a conversation on how we can support other communities also. So the people from Demerara Bank, they have just said to me they are willing to bring the small agricultural loan, which is I think 1.5 million to this region, to your communities. So I'm going to have a special program for farmers, and I think the 6 months interest rate is 3.25%. That is what it works out to. So that is a program we work with them to launch in the coastal areas. We're going to ask them to bring it to this area in your communities also, so you can benefit from that. Okay? So the village council can come up with a project that the government can support, and we can get support from them also. If you have 20 small farmers getting 20 different small loans, and we add it up together, we can have a medium-sized project that can supply all the poultry needs, all the food needs for your kitchen in your school feeding program, which can go back to service the loan. So let's work on that project together, okay? I'm going to ask Minister Teixeira and the team that is coming in on Saturday to work with you guys on that project. But they're going to come here, and we're going to ask you guys to mobilize at least 300 farmers to see how we can get them qualified. And the government is working on, and these are loans that you don't have to have collateral. We have been able to ask them to remove the collateral requirement so they can support the agriculture drive and food initiative. And the single parent that spoke up earlier, our single mother, Ms. Fredericks, you spoke earlier, and this is an initiative you can get help from on the too. Let's see how we can work on a project that can support that also. Because we want single mothers and single parents to be actively involved in the food production system, earning revenue also for their families, okay?
President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, other members of the Cabinet, and distinguished guests. My name is Gwendolyn Jeffrey. and I am the IMC chair for Akatash community. On behalf of Akatash community, I would like to formally and sincerely express our gratitude for the amazing support you and your government has given us over the years, and you have been serving us as a president. Your actions and input have directly and positively impacted the development of our community. We want you to know that we all value the amount of effort you and your government have put into your work in moving our community forward. As the time unfolds, we sincerely look forward for your continuous support. Mr. President, I have some requests, a few requests on behalf of my people in Akatash community. Mr. President, in Akatash community, we need drainage and irrigation, clearing of creeks. Mr. President, in Akatash community has a creek which runs from the main river, from the main Essequibo River throughout the entire community. Members are asking for it to be cleaned to avoid flooding to homes. Mr. President, we are also requesting for solar.
Just before you come, is this your priority project?
Mr. President, this is one of our major projects in our community that is affecting our
All right,
people's
good.
livelihood.
Good. Okay. The notes of all that you're raising, we will send the staff from NDIA to look at this drainage issue because that is critical to support your agriculture development and so on. So, and I'm very pleased with all the presentations so far and the focus on food security. Every single community and every single presenter has something to say about food security, and this is something we are pushing heavily on, and we're going to work on supporting you on all these food security initiatives, okay?
President, Bartica farmer from 10 miles Patar Road. I face a lot of struggles out there. Right now, my son have a little car that he brings out all the farmers, even the lady that just now speak. And we need a transportation from 10 miles to Sharimo so that we can get this thing going the proper way. I need to know what is happening with the oil blocks. Could you please share something with me?
All right? Because I don't understand how much times you have to explain the same thing. I'm very, very factual. I'm very factual. We have said the oil, and let me be very clear on this issue with oil. If we believe that oil alone will lead to transformation, we gotta be kidding. It is this transformative investment that we make to make all the other sectors competitive that will create the jobs and lead to the transformation that we want. And let us be clear, we have a choice as a country, you know. And I said this to the Summit of the Americas because what I say here, I can stand on any international stage and say, we can leave the oil there, or we can have it for the benefit of Guyana, the region, and the prosperity. Let us decide what we want. Let us decide what we want. All the countries we so proudly stand up sometimes and talk about, find out how they become developed. Find out how they became highly developed and rich countries. But in this country, when we are blessed with natural resources, we have people that see all kind of jumbie in that blessing. They don't see the realization of a better hope, of a better future. They don't contribute to the debate that will lead to how we translate this into that better future. You yourself ask for transportation to bring out the produce. I want to give you the transportation, but you know what will help me do it faster? The revenue that will help to build the infrastructure that will support agriculture, that will help you with the subsidies you want as your input for agriculture, that will help to build a modern infrastructure, that will create a services industry. You think those 6, 7 hotels that are coming now would have come? Guyana existed a long time before oil. Those 7 hotels that are coming that will employ hundreds and thousands of Guyanese. Don't you see that? All the new lands that are opened up along Guyana, all the new roadways, the new machining facilities, the new piping facilities. I said in my address, let us be factual. Let us understand the reality and not gaffe. This is a president that is not interested in gaffing. This is a president that is interested in doing. So if you want to gaff, you can call Critic and them boys and gaff. But if you want to talk development and talk how we achieve the targets we are setting, how we will achieve having the best possible health care the world can offer here for all of you, the best possible education, having the coding and software development, having free university education, having all our teachers trained. Which country in the world can say that all the 3 teachers are trained teachers? If you're talking about those development that we are going to achieve, then you'll have a conversation with this president. Thank you. And by the way, we are going to work on getting a transportation facility to help all the farmers along this corridor. So don't worry about it. We're going to get it done.
Your Excellency, I am here to proudly stand before everyone here to let you know the progress that is happening in our community under your leadership. Dog Point has been one of the community that have a massive impact of development under your leadership. First of all, we have our nursery school, which is now soon to be commissioned. The cost of that is $30 million, and we are so thankful for it. It will ease the cost of transportation for our children and for parents, but back and forth for taking their children. Thank you so much, Mr. President. Second, our solar farm, which will be a great improvement, and it will be a great, oh my God, I don't know how to say. It will be a great benefit for 362 families in that community of the cost of gasoline that we normally use. Third, our COVID fund. Our COVID fund was $10 million, which we divided into 3 groups. First, our ICT hub, which is now installed and in function, and we have 24/7 Wi-Fi. Thank you so much again. And the second, with our COVID fund, we have our Black Factory, which our young people and residents will be employed and money will circulate also. We'll be even having a canter which will be advertised soon, which will deliver quality blocks to people around this beautiful township. Last but not least, our road. This was my main issue, but now I am proudly standing here to say thank you to our government for giving us $166 million for this road. It will bring a big improvement, and a lot of residents for that community will be able to buy their own vehicles, and transportation will be a less cost. Thank you so much.
Infrastructure development, when the community leaders are speaking about it, I hope the private sector in Bartica understand the impact of this on your own businesses here, because your businesses will benefit tremendously. There's greater connectivity between the business center and these communities. the greater benefit comes to the business center. So that is what these transformative infrastructure allows to happen. And your block making factory with a road now, you can have a bigger market in Bartica. And I'm going to also ask the minister to look at ways in which we can support your community initiative with block making in our own housing program here, when we're going to build those 600 houses in region 7. So we're going to work on these. Thank you.
And I especially like the part where you reminded them all that you were going to share $25,000 again to residents. For Riversview, we were able to get our ICT hub, but we're saddened that we don't have 24/7 Wi-Fi like the other community. We would be grateful for that. With our solar farm, the poles were erected, but Farfan and Mendes' crew left in April, and we haven't heard anything from them. We would be grateful if the solar farm will not only cater for the immediate government compound, as they said it would be, but it will be extended along the village. Since we're not up to the 25 babies per year, and we don't think that we will get there anyway soon. We're having like one for every month. Let's say like 12 for the year. So with electricity, we might go down a little bit. We are very grateful for your intervention. And I must speak on behalf of the farmers. This extremely high tide and the heavy rains that we have been having is causing flooding in our village. Last year, we were flooded, and this has caused the crops in the ground to rot. And with the amount of rainfall that we're having this year, it is going to affect us for years to come. Because for the farmers, you know that when you lose one crop, you feel it for a long time. To battle this, we want to ask you for sea defense and for drains and the dredging of our creeks. These are some of our major issues. If we have sea defense or river defense, it is going to stop the water from overtopping the land. And if we have the drains dug and the creeks dredged, it will help the water to pull off quicker from the land. I wrote a letter last year to Honorable Minister Edgell, and I'm still awaiting a response. He was going to send in a technical team since last year, June. It has been 1 year on, so I would be grateful if we can have this, since this is going to help to secure our livelihood, especially in terms of food security. With the farmers too, and the land being waterlogged, we have about 35 persons who have indicated their interest in doing shade houses. So we would be grateful for the plastic, because the construction plastic is not very strong to do this. We will provide the other materials. So, thank you again.
On the Public Utilities Commission to fulfill their mandate and have these service providers provide a quality service that you're paying for. They must be held accountable for the service they provide. And the PUC has a responsibility to monitor the service. So I join you in that call. Thank you.
One is the GWI. I apply for water and they tell me $10,000 I got to pay. Why should I pay $10,000?
It's coming by you.
And the next issue?
Right? The crew on the road now? You know the address? Huh?
Thank you, Mr. President. And the next issue is about the disability. Why big people ain't getting it?
Okay, we're going to come to you next, don't worry.
Okay.
But you heard what we said for public assistance. That every person who is differently abled must be put on the public assistance register now. It's not an option for anyone to exercise. So we announced that.
I don't have foot and I'm seeing.
All right, so we're going to make sure, Minister Teixeira is here. She's going to make sure they take your information, Marcia. And the Board of Guardians, don't get me started with that.
Thank you very
So,
much.
good.